today I will be taking a look at this power bank, and let me tell you, it's pretty decent. What it features is a micro USB connector to charge it, two USB ports, the micro USB slot for charging it, for LEDs, and basically and also a power button, because some devices cannot be powered. It's currently discharged. Let me just show you how much amperage that it gave after being fully charged. Let's just see for a moment. Okay, this way around, and okay, so 6,856 milliamp hour, and that was at about 5 volts. It says here 10,000, but let me do a quick calculation, and was it 600, 5,000, something like that, right? And let's see, yeah, so let's say 6.9, 6.9, because during all this time it was also running the backlight of this, and I think it surely took some of that, and that was at 5 volts, so times 5, so we have about 30, that's 9 times 5, 45, so 4.5 basically what hours, yeah, more or less, because this is volts, and to calculate the actual capacity of the cells inside, what you would simply do is 34.5 and divide this by 3 and let's just pretend that the average voltage of the cell is something like 3.9, because it should range from 3.6 to about 4.2 when it's fully charged, so that's about in the middle, and after doing this we have something like 8.85 more or less. That is the capacity of the cells, but you have to keep in mind that there are some drops in the charging circuit, and the lead will also drop something, and so on and so forth. So I think that more or less 9.5 or almost 10 should be about right. And let's disassemble this. So I already took it apart, and I'm pretty confident with this, because it's let's start with the edges, and it's only held by the tabs. Well, one of them fell off. As you can see, there is one big cell. If you cannot put it back together, just disassemble it once or twice. You will eventually break one of the tabs, and surely it will be much easier to put the leads back in. To be honest, I only use this one because my phone doesn't use the micro USB port, and the other thing that they pretend that it's possible to take 2.1 amps out of this. The only difference is that between those ports is probably a resistor in the middle that says to some devices what's the max amperage they can get from the charger. But in my experience with USB-C quick charge, it doesn't really give the 2 amps. It only gives about 0.86 of an amp on the output, because when the phone tries to get more juice, so to make load this, I notice on the meter that it drops the voltage, and to about a second and a half a second to something like 4.85, and that's when the phone basically doesn't want to push it any harder, and it stays about 0.86 of an amp, but it should be able to give you something like 2 amps. So as you can see here, we have 2 cells. I don't really think that's a good idea, because if one of the cells will fail, it will take down the other one, because it will be discharging it constantly, and that's not really a good idea. Let's just take a quick look on the circuit board. You won't be able to find much. I'm really glad that this one is discharged. Let's just take out these screws here. There are only 2 of them. So those cells are in parallel, and I think they don't have any circuits on them, so they are not protected. That's not really that good, because if somehow you will short at this inside, then for example using water or something, or this circuit would fail, that means that they may combust. Let's be just gentle with this. Delicately take it apart. Okay, I will only flip it on this side so we can take a closer look. Yeah, the strain relief is pretty good over here and here. There is a small button, control chip, the inductor, a very simple circuit. And let's see if there are anything. No, nothing is connected, I think, to the yeah. So there is probably a resistor on one of those connections to tell the basically the device how much current can it take. But most of the phones are basically trying the power supply, so they will ramp up the amperage, try first something like 300 milliamps. If they can get away with 500, they will try that, and a bit more and a bit more, and when the voltage will drop, the phone will simply stop or try once more, and it will stop and won't be trying to get more amps anymore. That's the button, and I guess that's it. Let me just put it back together. I will also charge this up and tell you how much amperage does it take and how long does it take to charge this power bank. I will be back in a moment. As you can see here, it basically took about 13 amps during the 12 hours, so it didn't really lie about being charged at 1 amp, and during that time it seems that all this charging and discharging took from us as a loss about 5 amp hours, so that's kind of a lot. Well, I think that most of the charging circuits are basically designed this way, so this shouldn't really matter, especially that this is such a big cell. And what it can do, this phone has about 4 amp hour battery, so it can charge it. This power bank can charge it twice. So I think it basically has one of those cells inside, more or less. So that's about it. Thanks for watching.